Crap.
Hey. Hey, guess what, Clint?
What's up, Travis?
How you doing, buddy?
Man, I forgot how to work Zoom, and so I'm sitting here trying to figure out to record. So I'm hoping yours takes because I don't have the backup copy.
Well, that's all right. This will take.
Oh yeah, it will.
Hey, guess what?
What's happening, Captain?
No Sean Michelle music to start
I
us
know.
off.
I noticed that. I'm also noticed I'm at home, not in the back of a car.
You're not in
So
the back of a car, and Basil's not here to get on to you.
yeah, get on to me. Well, he got on to my wife, and I can understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you missed that episode, check out last week's episode of Basil getting on to Clint. It was
calling me unprofessional.
it was glorious. Well, hey, Clint, I'm excited.
I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped. Anytime you get one of the big boys, as they call them, hog mollies up front.
That's right. And this is a guy that we've been hearing his name from the coaches and other players uh spoken about in press conferences. Every time they're asked, who's showing you good things, Patrick Kutas' name comes up.
Yes, it
And
does.
he got the start last week against Western Carolina and of course the W. And so he's agreed to come on with us. And man, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to hear about the team and from his point of view. And what do you think? You ready for this?
I am ready for this. Now, before we go on, me and you we're gonna do this even on interviews. We're gonna give our players of the game. Travis, who you got?
Oh, we're gonna do it with him, right?
Well, I didn't think we were gonna do it with him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's do it with him
Okay.
and see what he thinks about our players of the game.
Yep.
So
right. There you go. Okay.
I think we'll get his response. By the
Right.
way, little peek behind the curtain. Normally we record these after the person
Right.
has
Yeah.
come on and we kind of know what we're talking about. This time it's we're like Eminem, man. We're going straight off the dome right here. Come on, Papa Lock, whatever your name is. Yeah. Anyway, his real name is Clarence. Anyway, Patrick Kutas from Memphis, Tennessee, birthplace of the King, Elvis. Come on now.
Hello.
We're going to talk some barbecue and some Elvis songs.
Yeah.
Come on now. Let's go, Clint. You ready?
Ready. Let's go.
Boom. Strike up the band, Sean Michelle.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his name. A broken heart made whole. Ever seen an orphan find a home? Ever seen the weak find the strength? I promise you a change his name. Ever seen the sick get healed? Ever seen a mystery revealed? Ever seen a dead man raised? I promise you a change his name.
Everybody, what is going on? It's your boy Bigger T from the Big C and Bigger T podcast. I'm here as always with my best friend Clint Clark. How you doing? Hey, you don't matter today because we have a third window here. And listen, folks, we're big boys. When we watch a football game, we start in the middle. We start on the line of scrimmage. Because that's the most important place on the football field. That's where it all starts. And we have the starting right tackle from the Arkansas Razorbacks. Our team, Patrick Kutas, Patrick, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Man, we're so happy to have you on here. Thanks for coming on, entering this wild storm of things. Clint, are you excited to have a tackle on here?
I'm pumped up. I've never been excited. I was just like, okay, I'm just sitting here waiting on my turn to talk, and then you got to me, and I didn't know what to say.
Yeah. Just stand there and look pretty.
Just stand there and look pretty. That's what I do.
That's impossible. That's impossible. Anyway, well, hey, Patrick, one of the things we do on our show is we do what we call Holy Shnikes moment.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Farley, rest in peace. Okay, so our Holy Shnikes moment this week, I felt like we need to talk about this. And Patrick, I don't know if you know who this guy is or was, but somebody that a famous person passed away over the weekend. Someone that's been meaningful to I know Clint in my life. One of his songs in our senior yearbook said, like your favorite song. His song "Cheeseburger in Paradise" was my favorite song. Jimmy Buffett passed away over the weekend. Are you familiar with Jimmy Buffett?
A little bit, I will say I am.
You've heard of Margaritaville.
Obviously.
I know he's got the restaurants and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever heard Cheeseburger in Paradise?
I haven't.
Well, you need to look it up just to
definitely
will.
It's happened. He starts talking, and you're not the first Razorback athlete we had on this podcast where Travis goes talking about his music, and he's like, I've never heard it.
Yeah.
I've never just every time you talk music with a guest, all we do is look old.
That's right. That's very true. That is very true. That happens. Well, Jimmy Buffett, sadly. Clint, your thoughts on Jimmy Buffett?
It was a sad day he died.
It was.
Yeah.
The pirate. He's
the lead singer Smash Mouth also passed away.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soundtrack to Shrek. He was
one thing I will do, Pat, is I'm kind of mean to my family sometimes, and I've got Alexas all around the house. So I'll just be like, hey, Alexa, play All Star by Smash Mouth on the Everywhere loop. And so everywhere in the house, it'll just start playing All Star by Smash Mouth. I think it's hilarious. And then my wife went and took my ability to do it away.
Yeah.
I got rid of that group. So I couldn't, because I used to go, you abused it.
See, that's what you have to look forward to, Patrick, when you turn like 47. Your
when you
wife starts taking your toys away. It's back to when you were a kid and your mom would hide those toys that you were destroying stuff with around the house.
It's full circle.
Well, Patrick, y'all just got through with Western Carolina and Little Rock. This was your first time in Little Rock?
Yes, playing there. I've never played in Little Rock before.
What'd you think about it?
It was pretty surreal. It hit me. I was like, because I've been at, obviously the games here in Fayetteville, but I mean, it was packed out. As many people could fill it, and it was like, man, these people, like, they would die for the Razorbacks. They care,
Yeah. Now, there's been some criticisms of some of the ticketing and they ran out of water, but
yeah,
Clint, I didn't understand. They had like high school kids running the concession stand, like it's fundraisers for their school or something.
Yeah,
it's probably not the best place to test out high schoolers.
Probably not.
Oh well, but they made some money for their school.
I mean, you could do that like at the PBR or something.
Yeah.
Like the PBR is coming to like Simmons Bank Arena or the Pyramid.
Yeah.
You probably don't even remember when the Pyramid wasn't the Bass Pro Shop, Patrick. But yeah, it used to be an arena where people went and watched concerts and wrestling. And then they built the FedEx Forum downtown. I mean, like, yeah, if you want to like have like the rodeo in town and do it there, that's fine.
Yeah.
You don't do it at a Razorback football game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's my old man gripe for the day.
That's right. Get off my lawn, kids.
Like, first nevers.
Well, we also pick a player of the game usually for the games, Patrick. And now it could be player or players, like groups or something like that.
Sometimes we'll just make crap up.
Yeah. We try to pick something that Like the guys on TV aren't going to pick. Like KJ has rarely been even though he could be the player of the game every game. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Easily.
we try to pick out something that like where we watched and we're like, man, that's okay. That person did well, or that person added some stuff that may not show up on the stat line.
Mhm.
Yada, yada. Okay. So my player of the game for this game is I'm going to say is the receiving core.
That's where I was going. I was thinking Isaac Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people didn't see, but first touchdown of the game, Jaden Wilson taking it along the sideline. Tesla played a key role in that, making that first block.
Yeah, that block was amazing. And then,
Beautiful.
but what stood out to me is that, okay, we were questioning them just because they're all new. We don't know what, as fans, we're not at practice.
Mhm.
We're just hearing, the reporters talk about them.
Mhm.
But they came out and they lived up to expectations that all the reporters were saying. And the fact that KJ seemed happy throwing to any one of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's been like that all camp, all off season. I mean, the hype is real with these guys. I mean, they're legit. And I I tell Isaac every day, I'm like, how does it feel to be the top receiver in the SEC? He laughs, jokes it off, but I'm pretty serious about it because
it's a cool story. A guy coming from D2.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome story.
Him and Armstrong both. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the guys that have been here too, like Satania, Jaden Wilson. I mean, they're all making names for themselves. I mean, it's a great core.
And that probably would have been my second pick would be the transfer portal. But then I started thinking about
been our player of the game before.
It has, but then I started thinking about it wasn't just because I heard someone talking on the radio today about how many transfer portal guys provided such great things for this game.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also started thinking, but you know what? A lot of the homegrown guys, the guys that came here out of high school, like Satania, like did Wilson come here from
yes,
high
Wilson.
school? Okay.
Yep.
You coming in and starting at right tackle and doing a great job. Other guys, I mean, there was a lot of guys that came in here. Clark gets into interception. A lot of guys that have been here that have progressed over time, and we're seeing the fruit of that out there too. So it's not, yes, we hit well in the transfer portal. Coaches did a great job there, but they're also doing a great job building y'all up, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. 100%. I mean, even the guys that have just got here, freshmen. I mean, Brad Spence, 85-yard pick six.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible.
For people that hadn't heard of him, they've heard of him now.
Oh yeah. Big time.
My player of the game's also a homegrown guy. Been with y'all for a while. I'm going with Dominic Johnson. When a man will go from tailback to willingly playing fullback and goal line, and he laid a lick. I believe it was on that play to end the first half.
Yep.
I mean, a key block, and just unselfishness of him to be willing to do that. Set a lot for him.
Definitely. I mean, he's a force to be reckoned with. He's a big dude, and if he gets rolling, he is hard to block.
Yeah. Well, and especially coming off 2 injuries like he has.
Oh, definitely.
To still be willing to lay leaks like that.
100%.
Sometimes people get tentative after just one injury, let alone 2 in a row.
I think he's excited to be back out there and playing. I mean, even in pass protection, he's chipping. He'll knock, these big DNs that we have down. I'm like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Made my job easier.
So just kind of give us your feedback on the game. First of all, how do you think? Now, I know that with the O-line, and look, we understand one thing with me and Clint, we understand football is a lot bigger than what people always shows up on the stat. Okay. And so, as fans, a lot of fans are out there saying, well, we should have rushed the ball better. And I'm sure you would say that too, that, yeah, we would like to have had more yards. But how do you think, especially having 2 people out of position, Braun had to go over to the left guard and because Latham was out, right? And then Then you got Crawford in there. So now y'all have cross trained pretty well. So I mean that wasn't necessarily new to y'all, but how do you think the line did?
I think we got a lot of new guys in there, especially with Brady being out. You know, the veteran besides Braun, being Bo, you know, it's just not a lot of slack to pick up, but just a lot of not that much experience. So I think, you know, I was talking to Chambly about this. I was like, you know, first game, me and him, sophomore tackles, it was just nice to get out there, play, and get the nervousness out, you know, finally get that game experience in. But I think definitely the run game will be improved. I mean, that's been a key emphasis this week. But I will say it's also pretty hard to run when you got a team, you know, stacking the box with 8 guys in there and you only got 6 dudes to block. But I mean, there's no excuse. I mean, that's our style of football, you know, running the ball.
At the end of the day, if Western Carolina is like, y'all protect KJ and see if he can beat us throwing, and you're like, bet.
We'll take that. We'll
I mean, it was what KJ completed his first 13 passes.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, it was a ridiculous
12
number
or 13, yeah.
You know? But yeah, it was, and plus, I mean, y'all, you're selling yourself short. I think KJ got touched twice, and one of those was a hot. Pittman talked about in the press conference. It was, you know, he knew the guy was uncovered.
Yeah.
So he just, I guess KJ's like, that guy can't tackle me.
Yeah. That one where that guy bounced off him, dude. That was so awesome.
I don't know. I didn't see it till I was watching film. I was like, oh my gosh.
And you can, even on TV, dude, you could hear the pop. I mean, you could hear it just pop. That poor guy just looked up and KJ just like,
just ate it.
Yeah. Who are you?
So, Patrick, you're from the Memphis area, correct?
Yes.
So, you know, we asked me and Travis, I'm not sure you can tell, we're barbecue aficionados. Me, I smoke a little bit. Travis, just eat.
Yeah.
So, no, absolutely not. So, every time we've had anybody from the Memphis area, they always give us some answer like, my best friend's cousin's dad makes the best barbecue. They never tell us, listen, we're not going to your best friend's cousin's dad. We come to Memphis. We're like, take us to eat barbecue. Where are you taking us?
Well, besides the homemade barbecue, we'll take that off the table.
Yeah, right.
I'm taking you all to the original Central Barbecue. I mean,
amen.
You can't beat it. You get their barbecue nachos, you get the wings, pulled pork, you get anything from there. It's spectacular. And their sauce just tops it off. I mean, they can cook.
I love Central. Yeah.
I love it. They just opened one this summer, right in Fayetteville. So it's been.
Oh, did they really?
Yep.
Nice. Well, now have you had the banana pudding at Central?
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, I was there we were on the Arkansas side doing a mission trip with our church, and we went and to the one downtown by the Civil Rights Museum there. And so this guy from the church we were working at heard we were going to be there. And so he worked downtown. So he came and showed up, and he came and sat down. He said, hey, did y'all order any of the banana pudding? And I was like, no. But like, banana pudding's one of those things, man. I eat that at a church potluck. You know what I mean? Or at grandma's house. Like, I don't order that. It's like I don't go to a restaurant and order a hot dog.
Yeah.
Okay. I eat hot dogs when I don't have anything else to eat at the house, or I'm grilling out and I've grilled a hot dog. Okay.
Exactly.
And so banana pudding is not one of those things. Like, I'm going to get pie, I'm going to get cake, some kind of special like that. But this guy's like, well, I bought some for a few for the table for y'all to try it. I was like, okay, you know, I'm being all nice and everything. Dude, that stuff was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's the best banana pudding I've ever had in my life.
It's something else. And I'm not a big like banana guy, but that I'll eat that banana pudding any day of the week.
Well, if I'm at a barbecue place, I don't get desserts a lot because
Yeah,
I want the meats.
exactly.
I want to leave with the meat sweats, man.
Oh,
You
because
know,
I'm the same way when I go to like the Brazilian steakhouse. They're like, there's salad bar over there. I'm like,
No
what?
what's that for?
No,
Yeah.
purpose,
Yeah.
man.
no, no. So Patrick, were you born in Memphis?
Yes,
In
sir.
Memphis, you're a Memphian your entire life. So
Yep.
tell us a little bit about growing up in Memphis.
I grew up in a suburb. It's called Germantown.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, nothing, really crazy. Uh, went to couple went to public school for middle school, and then went to Christian Brothers for high school. And it's an all boys, smaller Catholic school. But I mean, it was some of the best times of my life. I mean, it's like people always, talk about the brotherhood, all this and that, like
Yeah.
making friends and connections for life. And I mean, it really is like that. I mean, it
Mhm.
sounds cliche, but I mean, it's everything that they talk about. And I'm just blessed to be able to be a part of that.
Well, that's
Now there's
awesome.
a Christian Brothers College too, right?
Yes.
Is that connected to the high school at all? Or?
Um, probably in some way, because Christian Brothers there's a bunch of Christian Brothers like CBC, St. Louis, and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They're all part of the De La Salle, but it probably is connected.
Okay. I was just wondering. I knew I'd heard of it, so
Yeah.
both were.
Now,
So
at what age did you start playing football? When did you get started cranked up?
Uh, ever since I can remember. I mean, it was early age, just flag footballs where you get started, and then you're asking your parents like, when will I be able to move up to full pad football? And you finally make that jump, and you keep elevating. So it
Mhm.
was a young age. I've always just loved watching it. I mean, my grandparents watched it, my dad, big football fan. So
Who was your team to watch growing up?
Bears,
The Bears.
Bears. Yep, dad's from Chicago, so he not pushed, but influenced me for the
Yeah.
Bears in a big way. So,
Oh
So
yeah.
does he talk about the '85 Bears a lot?
oh
Your
yeah,
dad? Yeah.
never gets a chance. I mean, my grandfather, he loved the Bears. I mean, he was from Chicago, lived in Chicago, most all of his life. So
Mhm.
they're big Chicago people.
You probably hook your dad up now because you probably got an in with Dan Hampton somehow.
That's right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like,
Yeah,
hey,
he's a former hog, man.
yeah.
I
So
didn't think about that.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
right.
Thank you.
You don't have to get Father's Day. Just get Hampton to call him,
That's
and you
right.
save yourself money on a gift.
That's right. So in high school, did you play mostly offensive line? Did you play both? D line, offensive line? What'd you do?
I was a defensive lineman, through and throughout. I was recruited to come play defensive line here, and then I guess junior year they started splitting me, uh, playing both ways, playing tackle on both sides, and then senior year is when I really started playing offense and still playing defense. But I kind of analyzed the situation. I was like, I probably have a higher ceiling playing O line, so
Mhm.
I just stuck with that and ran with it. I mean, worked out pretty well.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so when you first got on campus, they had you at defensive line.
No, they were recruiting me as D line, and then I was like, hey, I might make a better offensive lineman. Like that wouldn't be a problem for me to switch. And they were like, no, we, absolutely come play O line. So I've been an O lineman since, but they recruited me for D line.
Okay. Who was your chief recruiter?
Coach Odom.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So he had that area.
Yep.
What was the recruiting deal like? Was there other schools involved that were trying to get you?
Definitely. Illinois was a big one on that list. Funny, Brett Bielema,
Yeah.
coaching here and
Oh,
everything.
we know old Brett.
Illinois was definitely a big one. Florida roommates.
Well, tell him we said hi.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun recruiting process, but I mean, it gets tired. You're traveling these 2 months you get to travel, and you're just nonstop going to all these places, and then it's finally just nice to be like, this is the place I want to be. I don't have to worry about all this recruiting mess anymore. So,
What solidified Arkansas for you?
Coach Pittman, I mean, he sold it, and I bought into it. I was like, this, it sounds great, and it is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So did Pittman, being the offensive line coach he was, did that really help you make that decision?
Definitely. I mean, all the schools I was looking at, they were predominantly O-line schools, but I mean, just looking at Pittman's track record, phenomenal. So I was like, why go anywhere else when I can have one of the best O-line coaches teach me, one-on-one, and he's a head coach.
Yeah. Now, have you ever sit down and watched film of like your offensive line play with Coach Pittman? And what's kind of like that process like, seeing his brain work?
Yeah, he'll pop in for a couple minutes, but he's a very busy man, so not having all the time to sit down and watch film with us. But he'll pop in and he'll just say a couple things, about technique, about where you're going, spots, and all that. And I'll be like, man, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I never looked at it until I looked at it like that.
So he kind of lets Kennedy do most of the work.
Oh, definitely. Coach Kennedy's a great O-line coach. He's kind of like the mastermind, but Coach Pittman definitely helps influence that.
Now, everybody's talking about the way things have changed might have changed for KJ with Enos coming in. Enos, the guy, anyway, sorry. The guy on TV was calling him Enos. I'm like, that's a character from Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Enos coming in has changed a lot of stuff for KJ, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Has that changed much for y'all?
Definitely. I mean, it's a new offense. It's a new coach. It's a whole new vibe, energy that he's bringing in. And I mean, schematically, yes, things have changed for us. But I mean, just as a coach, I mean, he brings energy every day, and he's not hesitant to get on you and like tell you like, man, you're messing this up. Like, let's fix this now, so we don't have to worry about it when we're in the heat of battle.
Are y'all doing more like trap blocking and then zone blocking now, or is it still doing a lot of zone?
They're definitely a good amount more trap plays, which I think is pretty cool, but still, base things. Football's football. You're gonna run zone, power. I mean, it's all that. So
yeah.
Patrick, one of the things that every time we hear Coach talk about you, or anybody talks about you, they talk about how strong you are. I mean, like, everybody's like, we don't know if he's good at football yet, but Patrick Kutas sure is strong. But I mean, so at what age did you start, like, man, what are some of your weight room numbers? Make me jealous.
Now, last time we maxed, I think squatted 600, benched around 400. But I mean, I've always
he'll curl that for you if you need him to.
That's right. Yeah.
I need moving.
Yeah. We were talking about those hot dogs earlier.
No. So have you always thrived in the weight room, or is that something that you just kind of got better with over time?
Some I've just gotten better as time's gone on. I mean, I was tall and lanky going into high school. I mean, I was 6 foot, 185 pounds. And I think just, honestly, me and my buddy, my roommate, been, best friends, kind of like y'all, forever. And we got bored and we are like, let's just work out. So I think that just that's how that took off. And I just got interested in like how the body works and like how different functions and movements enhance different things, and just like learning about it and then doing it. It was a lot, like, it was kind of a stress reliever and just something fun that I enjoyed.
Now there's a lot of, well, I'm not going to say a lot, but there may be some kids out there that may listen to this or watch this that are trying to, they're playing high school ball, or some parents that got kids playing high school ball or whatever, and they're trying to get, serious in the weight room.
Mhm.
What are some, one of the things I've always kind of preached to kids when they're starting to get serious with weightlifting and stuff is having quality form before you do anything.
Oh, 100%.
Before you try to do a lot of weight, make sure
Definitely.
your form is. You agree with that? I mean, how's that work for you?
100%, because your form is the base of what you're working off. So if you can squat 400 pounds with not that great form, if you work on your form, you get the little things right, then your numbers can just increase, keep increasing. I mean, it's the base of all your weightlifting.
Yeah, it's good advice, because I think that's where a lot of people, they just get in there and they just want to see how much weight they can put up,
Yeah.
and that's when we started as kids, I think.
Yeah.
But that was something that when I was in college started kind of understanding a little better.
Mm-hmm.
And also talk about what nutrition has to do, because that's another big thing.
Oh, that's probably the biggest battle, because you can move weight and everything and all that, but you're eventually going to hit a point where, okay, I'm stuck here. But you just have to elevate your nutrition style. I mean, for an offensive lineman, you got to obviously eat a lot of food just to maintain what you're doing every day. But I mean, you got to load yourself with the right food. Like, you can't just go out and eat like McDonald's and Arby's every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to have quality nutrition, quality carbs. So I think that's the biggest battle outside of weightlifting.
Now, how does like the strength program at the University of Arkansas and the strength and conditioning program, how does it help you with your meal plans there?
Oh, it's been awesome. I mean, we're getting fed nonstop. And we also,
I'll be honest with you, that does sound awesome. I went on the exact same. It was the exact same way. I just Guy's Burger Bar, just right up the stairs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I mean, they're always on us. I mean, especially during camp, they're like, you weigh in before practice, you weigh out, see how much you lost, so you can put that back on. And I mean, it's just food. Like, you're not going to go hungry unless you really try.
Right.
So
yeah.
they're giving us plenty of resources to make sure that we're getting the right nutrition and hydration. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. No.
Now, one of the things I talk to kids about a lot, and this is something that's not in my realm, okay? Because I've always been on where I needed to take weight off. Okay. But there's a lot of kids out there, they need to put some weight on. And you talked about how you started out at like 185, and you've had to kind of push your weight up. What advice do you give to like say a high school kid that is trying to put some weight on? They're trying to get to that size where a D1 coach is going to look at them for offensive line.
You have to eat nonstop. I mean, you got to eat a big breakfast. You got to have little snacks in between. You got to have a big lunch, couple dinners probably. But one thing that really elevated me was my mom. She'd make these shakes for me. It'd be like 2 bananas, some strawberries, 2 scoops of protein, and chocolate milk and peanut butter. And I mean, I'd eat one of those in the morning.
I'd crush one of those right now.
And one of those at night. So it's just the little things. I mean, you gotta consciously keep reminding yourself, oh, I gotta eat. Like, I gotta eat,
See, you probably, I know you're probably too young to remember Tony Saragusa. He was, I don't know, he was an old school, like, really big defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had a rookie whose job was just to fill in his weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, just put 100 pounds on there. I don't care. Just fill it out every day. He's like, I don't care.
That's
so
right.
he like refused to weigh in. The coach would kind of like, quit busting my chops. So, Sorry, I just thought about that.
Yeah, Saragusa. Anyway, do you know who Saragusa was?
Yep.
Okay.
I like going back and watching all those Hard Knock stuff. I think it's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah.
So you probably know exactly the scene I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Where he,
100%.
yeah, he's like, just fill in whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
Have you been watching this season, Hard Knocks?
I've tried to, but when I come home, it's like, all right, let's put Hard Knocks on. Then I'm like, I got to do homework. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
You'll catch up with it after the season, probably.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I know what it was like being an old school college football player at a mediocre Division II school. I never played, but I was there and I hung out.
Sure.
And so, but when you enter like camp, like the summer camp, you start. I'm still going to call them 2-a-days.
Mm-hmm.
What does a day in the life of an Arkansas Razorback football player look like, from waking up to going to bed?
Are we talking in season or fall camp?
Fall camp.
Oh, okay. Let me go back here. You gotta first off, you're always drinking water, Pedialyte, Gatorade, just so you're not cramping or anything.
Right.
But you wake up probably around. I'd wake up around 6 o'clock, 6:15. Get something in my body, get some food in my body, get some fluids at the football facility, and then after that, you go do treatment or whatever you need, ice tub, cold tub, hot tub, and you get taped, get all your stuff ready, go out for meetings, probably around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You'll sit in those for an hour and a half. Then this year we practiced in the mornings, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd get practice in the morning. We'd get that out of the way. We'd go eat upstairs. Then we'd have depending on what day it is, we'd have an hour, 2 hours to just chill out, recover, drink fluids, whatever we had to do. Then after that, go back to meetings, special teams meetings. Probably hour, 2 hours of meetings. And then some days we'd lift. So you'd have to lift. But if you didn't lift, then you go do walkthroughs. And then after walkthroughs, you go back, do some more film, more meetings, and kind of prepare yourself for the next day. And then, we'd be done around 7:30, and gives you time to just sit down, recover, relax, watch TV, eat some food, drink some water. So,
but it's a pretty long day. I mean, you're talking about 6 to 7. Yeah, I mean, it's
definitely a long day.
Yeah. Now one of the things, Patrick, like Clint was saying, we kept hearing your name coming up in press conferences and interviews with coaches, with other players. We kept, who's doing well in the offensive line, or who's shining, who's doing well in those, we knew they were trying to fill those tackle spots, so who's doing well. And Kutas kept coming up. Kutas, he's strong, he's got good feet, he's doing real well. And that's turned into now you're starting. Tell us a little bit about what that process has been like, because this is your sophomore year, right?
Yes.
And you're still real young too, right? Like, yeah. I know there's been some reporters talk about that. You're just 19?
Yes, 19.
So you're younger than some of the freshmen.
Yeah.
So talk about what that process has been like over this last year, to work your way into what now you're starting right tackle for a Power 5 SEC West team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's I'll start from last year, just thankfully having guys like Dalton Wagner and Ricky where I can just watch and learn and pick up little things that they do, ask them questions. And I mean, I take what I do very seriously. So I think just always learning and always elevating things that you can do better. That's always been pretty key thing for me.
Mm.
So I mean, just obviously the off season, you know, you're in the weight room, speed work and all that. But we'd get like a group of guys like me, Braun, Amarion, Chambly. We just it wouldn't be anything crazy, but we just do little drills to like help footwork, timing with our hands, eyes, and everything. And before the draft, I worked with Dalton and Ricky for a little bit, and just having those two guys, I mean, it was awesome. They poured
Mm.
so much knowledge into me, so many little things I wouldn't have thought about,
Mm.
just to get me ready for spring ball, fall camp, the season. I mean, it's just something you got to work at every single day. And it doesn't have to be physical work. I mean, you can sit in the film room and evaluate yourself and see what you're doing wrong to fix the next day in practice. So I just think evaluating yourself, taking time to fix the things that need work, that something that I did, and it's paid off. But definitely, I'm still learning. I'm eager to learn, you know. So
That's great.
So now,
Well,
now they kind you had you mostly at center last year during camp, right?
yep.
Um, so and of course now you're starting at right tackle. How did the conversation go with that move from interior to more exterior offensive line?
I mean, it wasn't really much of a conversation. It was just an opportunity that opened up for me, and I mean, not playing tackle since high school, and still that's high school ball. You're
Right,
not
yeah. It's
turning and running, and I mean, it's just been a big shock, but something that I've taken head on, and you know, use my resources. You know, ask guys like Dalton to help me out, evaluate what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what I could work on. But it was definitely a big change.
yeah. No, it's a completely the footwork's completely different. I mean, there's just so much. Inside, you're going to deal with more of a bull rusher. You
Mhm.
know, somebody that's just going to try to power you over. Where, you know, outside you've got guys like Landon Jackson and Jeff Coat. Now, what is that like practicing against them two when
It's
all day, every day?
it's it's a grind, but at the same time, you know, you're sitting in practice, you're like, man, I just got my butt whipped. But you look back at it in games like Western Carolina where you're like, I am so glad that I've been going to get up against these guys because they're the best of the best. I mean, they're it's been such a amazing opportunity to be able to work with them every single day in practice. And it's just elevated me to such a higher level.
it's nice to know that there's not anything that's going to surprise you, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, even against to be honest with you, even against the Bamas and some of them, I mean, they're going to have some great athletes, but you're going against some pretty daggum good ones
Oh,
in
100%.
practice every day.
Exactly.
Who are some of those guys on D line that Clint mentioned? A couple of them. Those are the names that kind of come out all the time. Who are some of those guys that have impressed you the most?
Definitely Trajan Jeffcoat. I mean, back in camp, I'd be going against him every single day. And obviously Landon Jackson, but I didn't go against him as much, but I'd see what he was doing over there. Obviously, I mean, making noise. But Trajan Jeffcoat, I mean, he's a different animal. I mean, he is big, he's fast, he's strong,
Mm-hmm.
like a creative player, you know.
He's a bad man. This
He is.
Pittman talked about.
Yeah, he is all that. I mean, it's been awesome working with him. I mean, yeah, I get frustrated and stuff, but
Yeah.
just sit back and I think at the end of the day, I mean, this guy is best of the best.
Did you see that press conference where Pittman got him up there?
Mm-mm.
He's like, he's a bad man. I think that's what he said, wasn't it, Clint? And then he said, and they're like, what do you mean he's a bad man? He said, come here, Trajan. Got up there. He was standing next to him. He said, this is a bad man. he said he's bigger than he's ever been. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's faster than he's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's hungrier than he's ever been. you know.
100%.
And Jeff Coates like, yes, sir, the whole time. So that was pretty cool. But what about some of your fellow offensive linemen? You've mentioned some of them, but who are some of those guys that are really impressing you, and maybe some guys we don't hear about as much that maybe in the wings, maybe some of the other younger guys, any of the freshmen or whatever that are we're going to hear about later, you think?
Obviously you have your Bows and Brady's, putting them aside.
Mm.
But somebody I've been working with, Josh Braun, Florida transfer. He's just great on the knowledge side and experience. Just being there next to me, being able to be like, hey, we're doing this instead of what you think we're doing. And it's just been great, like the knowledge that he's given me. And then some younger guys, obviously Andrew Chambly, he's a stud. Amarion Harris, he's definitely going to be a name we're hearing. Amari Wiggins, he's a new guy from Coffeyville, but he's learning the playbook really well, and he's playing well. Aaron Smith, freshman from Conway, he's a name for himself. He's done really well. He's just a little light, but I think with that he has great footwork. Just a really,
you need some of your mom shakes.
But he does a great job, just being thrown in the fire like that. He's really stepped up.
Cool. Well, y'all got Kent State coming up this week.
Yes, sir.
What are y'all hearing about them? What are y'all kind of focusing on as the offensive line? What are y'all focusing on to get ready for them this week?
They're a movement-based team, so they like to move a lot, like to do a lot of pop stunts and everything. So really just controlling the movement that they bring at us.
Now, and Western Carolina did kind of the same thing, right?
They not as at a level that Kent State does, but they moved sometimes, but they're a pretty straightforward defense.
Now, what little I played football, one of the things I always had a hard time with, I would rather a guy try to bull rush me than have a smaller, quicker guy out there. Because sometimes with the smaller, quicker guys, they don't want to make contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore I can't use my leverage and strength as well to dominate them. Mm-hmm. Now, if I get a hold of them, if it's a smaller guy, it's over. But it was always sometimes tougher to get that good initial, locking up on them so that you can maneuver them how you want to.
Yeah.
Is that maybe some of the things you deal with when playing these smaller teams like this, these lower division teams, because their guys are going to be a little undersized. So they're not going to want to, you're going to be a lot bigger than them. So they're not going to want to lock up with you. They know they're going to lose that battle. So they're going to try to stay away from you instead of, whereas a SEC defensive end, they're going to probably, think they're just as strong as you, even though they're probably not, but you know what I'm saying? They're going to try to man up and just go at you. And those guys, you can just, it's mano a mano, you lock up. There's none of that other stuff. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Definitely. Personally, I don't have too much experience with that, but Western Carolina, definitely, I think a team that did that. Kent State, you get these smaller schools, and I definitely think that maybe the lack of size could cause them to try to be more elusive with their rushes, try not to be straight on towards you. But it's just something you got to game plan and overcome with, Now,
there's problems with them doing that, of course. A lot of defenses don't do that because it's easy to get out of position, to leave, gaps for people to run through. If you do that, you don't get your run fits as well and stuff like that. So, but that's why a lot of them don't. But a lot of them, when they're going for broke, playing against especially like a Kent State's going to be coming in, gotten their tail end kick last week, here they go against an SEC school.
Mhm.
They're just gonna try to do anything they can to disrupt y'all and get you out of your, and you as a team have to be ready for that. I know your coaches are probably preaching that stuff to you.
Definitely. I think that's one of the big obstacles, just not really knowing what they could throw at you. I mean, you've seen the stuff they do on film, the movies and everything, but just knowing that they have that in their mind, like win by any mean. So it's just difficult to try to game plan when you don't exactly know what they could be doing.
Yeah. Now, when was the first time you met Coach Kennedy? Because he's the coach you play for. He's probably the guy you spend the most time with. So when was the first time you met him, and what was your initial impression?
Oh, first time I met him, it was, I think, when I came up here on a visit, maybe my official visit. But he 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 reminded me of a grizzly bear because he's got that real thick beard.
Right.
He just, I mean, I clicked with him right away. It was he's an offensive lineman. He understands, our humor and everything.
Right.
So it's kind of like just having another one of the guys with you.
Good deal.
Now,
Now,
you remember when I met my coach? He came in as Division II. He came in off the riding lawnmower. He was mowing the football. I doubt you go out there and see Sam Pittman out there riding riding a John Deere.
That's right. Yeah. You never know with Sam, man. You never know. He might. Of course, he'd probably be on a Kubota or something.
So what do you and the other offensive linemen? Because you mentioned you and Chamberlain hang out a lot. What do you guys kind of do to kick back, relax? What's a fun afternoon for you guys?
I mean, I got two. I live with three dudes. Two of them are offensive linemen with me. Brock Burns, Brooks Edmondson. But we just, we don't do too much. Like if we got a free weekend, we'd go golfing or something, get out and outside. But really, we just like to sit on the couches, put a movie on. Maybe we'll grill out back,
Right.
have some dessert, chocolate milk, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just get crazy.
That's right.
Go get the strawberry
Chocolate milk. Ooh, strawberry milk. Nesquik.
Exactly.
So, what's your go-to movies?
Oh, we've been especially during fall camp, we watched a lot of Denzel Washington movies.
Oh, good call.
We watched The Book of Eli. That was a pretty good one. We watched Fences, a little bit slower, but
which one was that?
The Book of Eli.
Yeah, but the one after that.
Oh, Fences.
Oh, Fences. Okay.
That one's really good. It's of course you can tell it's made for to be a play.
Yeah.
The way it all happens at that one little house kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can tell it's kind of an interesting movie the way they videoed it and everything. It's almost like you're watching a play. And
I was completely confused for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What are we?
His acting in it's incredible. Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible. And it got me at the end, a little tearjerker. I was like, man, this turned out not how I expected it to be.
Of course, the biggest tearjerker Denzel movie. Remember the Titans.
Yeah, Remember the Titans. 100%. That's one of my top go-to.
You Superman. I lose it every time when Bertier's in the hospital.
Yeah, I gotta look away. I can't watch the car wreck.
I know it ruined that James Taylor song.
Yeah.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain. And then the car wreck, you're like, man, come on.
You had to do it.
Yeah, that's such a good movie.
Yeah, it gets me every time.
Yeah. Well, man, this season, we're just getting started here. I like the way the schedule starts out. Y'all have these 2 games to kind of, get your feet under you a little bit. That doesn't always happen with Arkansas' schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last year, y'all didn't really have that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all jumped in the fire pretty quick.
Yep.
But y'all get a, I know the coaches are talking to y'all about that 4 weeks on the road.
Mhm.
That part of the schedule is going to be difficult. What are some of the things the coaches are already, or what are some things that you as a player kind of you think about mentally that you got to do to get ready for like a tough part of the schedule like that?
I haven't put too much thought into it. It's kind of just a week by week mentality, but I catch myself thinking about it sometimes. And I think the biggest obstacle is just, going to these places like LSU, Bryant Denny, and playing in front of that type of crowd.
Yeah.
The outside factors, because we're going to be sound, as a team, knowing what to do, competition, but it's just the other little factors people probably wouldn't think about.
What's been your most interesting, just so far? I know you've only got 1 year under your belt. Did you travel with the team last year?
Yes.
Okay, I figured you did. What was your kind of most interesting, experience at another school or dealing with the crowd or whatever?
I probably one that caught me off guard was BYU. They just have that really nice persona about them. Compared to the other SEC schools you're going to play
Yeah.
at, where they're all like yelling at you, booing you. When you get there, great people shaking your hand, like, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. It's just kind of throws you off. You're like, okay, this is
I heard they
different.
were giving Arkansas fans ice cream.
My parents went to the game last year. They did.
That's amazing.
It's a beautiful stadium too.
Yeah.
The mountains in the background. It
Yeah.
was definitely a top on the list.
Well, I think Arkansas needs to, in return, I think we need to give them pulled pork sandwiches.
Yeah, you're gonna
I
have
think
to.
I think that's what needs to happen.
You're gonna have
Quentin
to
and I
talk.
don't have the money to do that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure Tyson or somebody could come up with some money.
Somebody got to do something.
Rock's
Somebody.
Barbecue.
Take care of them Utahns.
You know,
Yeah. I don't know. We got to show them what it is, though, here in the SEC.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what is now? Last year, you didn't redshirt, played enough games, so you're a true sophomore. Did you have a welcome to college football moment last year in practice or in an actual game yet?
Probably in practice. I don't know. It seems like every day last year. I mean, going against top competition, but I was on punt team most of the year and field goal last year. Probably just those dudes, rushing off the edge, and you got to punch inside, punch outside, and you're just taking one dude to the face. Can't do anything about that.
So on punt team, how fired up are you to get down and make a tackle after you blocked?
Well, last year I was so fired up. You mean, especially when the little times they did take it back out. In the Alabama game, I did get a tackle. Tackled McKinstry. I was pretty hyped up about that.
I would be too.
It was awesome.
And we had Reed Bauer on last year.
Mm-hmm.
Did he want to run fakes like every play, every time?
They punters probably do, but I don't know. He wouldn't. He's just a guy that liked to punt the ball.
Does Max have some fakes in under his belt like Reed did? I doubt he's going to throw a jump pass like Reed did against Bama that time.
Max is sneaky quick, man. You can't count him out. You don't know what he'll do. He's got that long frame.
Yeah, he's got some long legs. I figured if we see him, he'd be taking a corner on a long run or something.
Now you've got one start, so you don't have too much experience with KJ in the huddle yet, but you've been in the fall camp can suck at times.
Yeah.
It can just suck because you're going from when you get up till you go to bed. I mean, it's just go meetings, practice, weightlifting, conditioning. I mean, it's just nonstop. What is KJ like in that huddle when y'all are beat down? It's hard to get going. I mean, how does he bring y'all up?
I mean, he's just a natural leader. He's got great poise. He's the type of guy, if it's getting down, morale's kind of low, he just reminds us, like, hey, we can't give up right now, we got to keep going. It's going to be hard during games. So why not make it hard during practice? Get that conditioning, get that experience. He's always going to be the guy that's going to bring you up, tell you how it is. So he's a great leader.
Now, Clint always makes fun of me for asking this next question, but I'm still going to ask it anyway because that's part of me.
Yeah, I
being,
know what it is.
That's part of me being
know
an old.
exactly what it is.
That's part of me being an
So
old
go
man.
ahead. I'm just going to let
I
you
just
go.
keep asking the same dumb questions. Now, when football's over, whenever that is, okay, whether that's after a long NFL career, we're gonna hope for that, right?
Hmm.
What else? What else is on the taps for Patrick? What's something else? What's some other? Like what are you studying? What's some? What would you do with that? What's your passion outside of football? That if you're not a football player, what would you like your career to be?
I'm in business right now, kind of the entrepreneurship side of it. Um, I'm not really great with like crunching numbers and finance and all that, but after football, I'd probably like to open up my own place, maybe like a gym or like a training facility somewhere where I can mix football with business.
Mhm.
But after all that, I probably just want to get a lake house, get a boat, stay there.
Retirement from football and
See if Pittman will give you the keys to the Hot Springs Lake House one day.
there you go.
Like, hey, coach, I've been playing really well. Just can I get the keys to the lake house? Or
That's right.
Yeah, maybe it'll be worth an ask.
That's right. Yeah.
What's the worst thing he's going to say? No.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe I know Travis a preacher. Heck no.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. No. Well, man. So what are you excited for the rest of the season? I know right now it's Kent State, right? But
Mhm.
what's some team goals y'all have? What's some personal goals you have to kind of make this season the best possible?
Team goals. I mean, it's every day. Strength staff, um, coaches. They're just instilling it in us. It's win the SEC. Be the top dog. Definitely that. I'm just excited to go out and play football again. Play with the guys next to me. I love playing football. There's no greater sport. There's no better joy than winning a big game and hearing everybody. So I think I just enjoy going out there and playing ball.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can tell you from as an old man, enjoy the moments, man.
Mm.
Like you just said, you just enjoy it. Enjoy those times, enjoy those plays, being next to your teammates, your buddies, enjoy each moment because there'll be one day you'll have a mediocre podcast talking to your best friend about it, about the good old days. And those moments will be long gone,
Honestly, I'm surprised we made it all the way through this thing without Travis mentioning his kick.
Yeah,
he was the kicker in high school. He
I
was.
was.
Kicked a whopping.
I was the largest kicker in Arkansas, probably.
He says it said 21 yards in the paper, but I swear to you,
23 yards.
I remember it being 19.
No, it was 23-yard field goal. I kicked just extra points. Like we ran a dead T formation. We never kicked field goals. We didn't punt hardly because we got 3 yards almost every play because we ran all of our blockers through the same hole every play and then just put a running back behind them.
Yeah.
But anyway, and my coach put me out for one field goal, and we were playing a team we were tied for conference championship with. It's 23-yarder from the left hash, and he grabbed my face mask and he said, "Are you going to make this?" I said, "Yes, sir." He's like, "If you don't, I'm going to kill you." and I believed him. And so
he got his name in the Log Cabin Democrat.
I did, yeah. And it was the worst looking kick you've ever seen in your life. Like it was horrible.
You made it.
I made it though, so that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And all you could hear was my mom from the stands. But anyway, well, man, Patrick, dude, we seriously thank you so much for coming on here and taking time out. I know you had a long day at practice, and coaches are getting y'all ready for Kent State coming up, and we're going to be rooting you on and cheering you on, and hope everybody that's seen this has got to know you a little better, and they're gonna be able to root you on a little better too. So, man, just appreciate you, and thanks for being a hog. And
thank y'all for having me on.
We look forward to continuing to cheer you on the next few years. You're still early in that career, so
sure.
We'll have to do it again sometime and catch up. Yeah. Clint,
thank you all.
Like, share, subscribe, and cheer for this man. Cheer for this man.
Right. Big, you got to cheer for the big hog mollies up front.
Big guys.
They're the ones that make it happen. Protecting the corners out there, going against those ugly, evil defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have a good tackle. Got to have a good. Oh, and by the way, folks, I was going to mention this earlier. I should have mentioned it. There has been some critiques on the game the other day, Clint, that we should have, like I said earlier, that we should have ran the ball more, right? Or, got more yardage. But if you'll notice, watching that game, when we needed yards, what side did they run to, Clint?
Behind Big 75, wasn't it?
They went to the right-hand side. they went to the right-hand side. I believe they went off tackle whenever it wasn't, what was it, a short yardage play where they, everybody thought, the one where KJ tried to, or did he try to go up the middle on the quarterback sneak and didn't get it?
Yeah, then
they gave it out and then went to the right hand side and got it in. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that right?
Yep, I think that's what happened. Yeah,
my memory's not as bad as it can be sometimes. So our boy Patrick Kutas showing that 600-pound squat, 400-pound bench, laying hands on folks.
Yes, sir.
Making them feel it, feel the pain. Patrick, keep doing it, brother.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. Like, subscribe, share. Tell your mama, your aunties, and Aunt Boo Boo and all of them to check out the podcast.
Bye, everybody.
Great week. Beat Kent State.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down